ladies and gentlemen. Hello there, you're all very welcome. On behalf of Willie Deery, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to come here this afternoon. We have, of course, some very special guests here today who will say a few words. That'll happen quite shortly. First of all, I would like to say myself that Willie's book is a culmination of work over the last 3 years. In the book, Willie has told a unique and remarkable story, and a story that deserves to be heard. I would like to thank Willie on my behalf, and I suppose on your behalf as well. And I'm going to ask Willie now just to say a few words. Willie Deery.
It's a great day outside, the sun's shining, and it's the last place anybody wants to be is on site, but I thank everybody. This is a story that took me years to write, but it's a wee story I thought had to be told, and I'm delighted that it's finished now. And I'd like to thank all the people here that came today. Now I'll hand you back to Hume because I'm not a great speaker.
Thank you, Willie. Willie has asked me maybe if maybe Mc Guinness might come up. I know Martin is going home very shortly, so I wonder if he's there. Would he come up and say a few words, please? Give a round of applause.
Well, I suppose like everybody else, we're all delighted to be here today for the launch of Willie's book. Absolutely fantastic achievement. 2 years in the making. Willie's put an awful lot of effort into the book, an awful lot of research into the book. I've known Willie a very long time. He and I spent time incarcerated in various prisons all over the island. And I used to say to him, when he and I would be sitting in the cell, someday you'll write a book about Springtown Camp. And he said to me, well, someday you'll go places too. But it is absolutely wonderful to be here, and great to see such a large turnout, and great to see John Hume here, and Ivan Cooper, and indeed many others. This is a wonderful achievement because it chronicles the history of Springtown Camp. And we all know the contribution made by people who lived in that camp to the growth of Derry, the way in which in the aftermath of the camp closing, people from that camp spread out to different parts of the city and helped effectively make the city the place that it is today, and hopefully a city that's going to go on to bigger and better things as we move on in the future with different projects and all sorts of opportunities for people to build better futures for themselves and for their children. So I'm just glad to be here. It's not a time for long-winded speeches from politicians. It's a great credit to Willie, to his family, that he has produced a book that I think will be widely read, not just in Derry, but throughout the city, and could even become a best seller in the north. Going to be the welcome.
Thank you very much. So what I'll do is, I'd just like to announce, to invite up a man who needs no introduction, a man who has scaled the highest heights in terms of politics. This gentleman, Mr. John Hume.
I'm sure you're all, like myself, very pleased to be here today at the launching of this book on Springtown Camp. I'm very pleased that it's been launched because I grew up beside Springtown Camp. And what should never be forgotten, and this book will make a contribution to ensuring that it's not forgotten. Springtown Camp is one of the most historic areas in the world because it should never be forgotten that Springtown Camp in the Second World War was the headquarters of the United States Navy. I grew up beside them. And Hitler's U-boats surrendered to the American Navy in our bay. In other words, Springtown Camp made an enormous contribution to the defeat of Hitler, and it's right and proper that it should be remembered historically. And I'm very pleased that this book is going to remember it and has been launched in Derry today. and I'm sure you're all glad to be here today at the launching of this book, and congratulating Willie Deery on the excellent work. Just to let you know how accurate the history of it was, the ordinary sailors all lived in Springtown Camp, and the captains lived in what is now the hotel in Ardmore. And that same building hasn't changed, and the photographs of a lot of the captains that were there at that time are still on the walls of the beach in Ardmore.
Thank you, John. Mr. Fionnbarra Ó Dochartaigh, please. Ó Dochartaigh. Mr. Fionnbarra Ó Dochartaigh. I'm going to be the mic. Hard to deal. Springtown Camp, to me, is actually a tinderbox. There was a spark, and the spark that led the civil rights movement. Myself and the two Amons, Malak and McCann, were arrested on the 6th of October at dawn next day, and we were charged with organising what is referred to as the first civil rights march in Derry, which Willie Craig banned. Anyway, cut a long story short, I remember going into the camp with George Lynch, who sits us here today, and I remember telling younger people about feeling the blankets on the bed, and the first two were like wafers. They were like your sheets hanging out in the line on a very cold winter's night. This was early in the winter's morning. And it stuck in my head, and then younger people say, oh, you're exaggerating. But I spoke to Hume the other day, and I spoke to George Lynch, and I said, maybe I'm getting older now, and maybe my memory's starting to play tricks on me. No, your memory's 100% correct. I'd just like to finish to say this, that to me, as a founder member of the civil rights movement, when the first march in Derry for civil rights was when the residents of Springtown Camp were threatened that if they spoke out of line or a rowdy march or started shouting slogans, the march would be stopped. City Campbell couldn't get even to speak to the mayor, he refused to speak. So you had the right to freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, and all the other things all tied in with housing. The first civil rights march in Derry was from Springtown Camp. It moved through the gates, and people like City Campbell and all the refugees could all have a badge of honour. Years ago there was a stigma associated with Springtown Camp. But I can tell you something now. If it wasn't for Springtown Camp, I don't think that this city would ever go up on its knees. Good to be reminded. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call our final guest. And again, this man needs really no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ivan Cooper. Ivan used to do a little nifty number in the suede coat for colours. Do you remember them? Ivan Cooper, ladies and gentlemen.
This book is a very important social history of Derry, and I want to congratulate Willie Deery on the work which he put into it, and there has been a tremendous amount of work put into this book. Can I also say how pleased I am to see Sadie Campbell here today. All of us have always had a great admiration for her. But I want you to think not of the days that the American Army were in Springtown Camp. What I want you to think about was the contribution which Springtown Camp made to the civil rights movement, because we were able to demonstrate at first hand the injustice of housing in Springtown Camp throughout the civil rights movement. I can't express my very deep congratulations to Willie Deery for the work that he has done, for the effort that he has made, and it's absolutely tremendous that so many of you have joined him here today. Thank you very much.
Well, once again, I'd like to thank Ivan, John, Fionnbarra and Martin, 4 of our own who came here to help Willie today. So, listen, again, just like thank you all very much indeed for coming along, and we hope you all stay around for a while so we can have a chat and have a cup of tea. Thank you very much.